Dear Starseed from Gaia, the song you cannot stop playing is not random. It is the same song your divine counterpart plays every night. And this shared pull is awakening, a true separation could not silence. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the reunion guides are speaking through me for this exact moment in your twin flame journey. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to navigate twin flame separation. But here's the first revelation. This song is carrying an emotional memory between you, revealing that the connection remains active even when physical contact is absent. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in. This isn't just a message, it's a moment of divine intervention. Your soul has been waiting for this guidance. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for divine love. Comment 1111 if you feel your heart awakening to divine truth. Your heart knows why you're here. What you just felt, that quiet ache mixed with recognition, is not sadness. It is your frequency remembering what it came here to receive. If this transmission stirred something you cannot name, the Divine Love Frequency Code was written for this exact moment in your journey. It contains 5 sacred Arcturian transmissions designed to dissolve the wounds blocking your divine counterpart and activate the signal that draws them closer. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will only remain there for a short time. And now, allow yourself to stay with the feeling without trying to force an answer from it. Let it exist as it is, like a ripple moving across still water. You do not have to prove that the song means something. You do not have to search for his name, replay every conversation, or turn a tender inner knowing into a demand for immediate confirmation. You do not need to turn every lyric into a prophecy or every coincidence into a command. The deeper invitation is not to chase the sound outside yourself, but to notice what awakens within you when it plays. Perhaps it brings forward a version of you that felt forgotten. Perhaps it touches the place that still believes love must arrive through pain, distance, or uncertainty before it can be trusted. Perhaps the melody has become a doorway into emotions you have been too busy, too guarded, or too afraid to feel. There are feelings that wait patiently beneath the noise of daily life, and sometimes a single chord becomes the key that opens the room where they have been resting. This is where the real activation begins, not in trying to control another person's choices, but in allowing your own heart to become honest again. You may discover that the emotion is not only about him, it may be about the younger self who waited to be noticed, the self who learned to read silence because no one explained what was happening, or the self who accepted small offerings because she had forgotten that love could be abundant. The song may carry the memory of a time when you felt chosen, or the grief of a time when you did not. It may awaken the longing to be held without having to perform, persuade, or prove that you are worthy of staying for. Do not rush to label the feeling. Some experiences lose their wisdom when we force them into simple categories. Allow longing to be longing. Allow tenderness to be tenderness. Allow grief to move through the body without immediately attaching it to a future outcome. In the language of the soul, not every sensation is a prediction. Some sensations are simply the heart completing a conversation it was never able to finish. Many souls struggle with divine love because they confuse intensity with intimacy. They feel a powerful pull and assume the pull itself is proof that they must pursue, wait, or sacrifice everything. But sacred connection does not ask you to abandon your discernment. It does not require you to ignore inconsistency, excuse hurtful behavior, or remain suspended in a story that never meets you in reality. The heart can recognize a possibility while the soul still asks you to choose what is healthy, mutual, and grounded. Intensity can feel like lightning. It illuminates everything at once, makes the world appear charged, and leaves an unforgettable impression. Intimacy is more like a steady flame. It warms, reveals, and remains present after the first flash has passed. Intensity may draw your attention, but intimacy earns your trust through consistency. One can arrive suddenly. The other is built through time, honesty, accountability, and the repeated choice to care. This distinction matters because old wounds often disguise themselves as spiritual certainty. The fear of being left can sound like, I must hold on at all costs. The wound of unworthiness can sound like, if I become more perfect, more patient, more understanding, then love will finally choose me. The fear of vulnerability can sound like, I will keep listening for signs so I never have to risk a direct conversation. These patterns are not evidence that your love is false. They are invitations to bring love into a more conscious form. Sometimes the mind uses spiritual language to protect the heart from an ordinary truth. It may call avoidance divine timing, inconsistency a runner phase, or emotional unavailability a lesson in patience. Yet the divine does not need you to distort reality in order to preserve hope. Scripture reminds us that we are to test the spirits, to walk in wisdom, and to recognize that truth brings freedom. A message that asks you to surrender your dignity is not a message of love. No matter how mystical it sounds, you can believe in unseen guidance and still pay attention to what is plainly seen. You can honor an energetic bond and still ask whether there is communication, effort, respect, and emotional presence. The spiritual does not cancel the practical. If anything, genuine spiritual awareness makes you more capable of meeting reality with clear eyes. It helps you distinguish the fragrance of grace from the familiar scent of fear. There may be a part of you that has been waiting for him to make the first move, because being chosen feels safer than choosing. If he reaches out, you can believe you are wanted. If he does not, you can tell yourself the timing is sacred and avoid facing the grief of uncertainty. But your heart was not designed to live permanently in the space between hope and confirmation. Divine love does not erase your agency. It returns it to you. Choosing does not mean forcing an outcome. It means choosing your response, your standards, your direction, and the kind of life you are willing to inhabit while the future unfolds. You can choose to speak honestly. You can choose to speak honestly. You can choose to stop monitoring someone's movements. You can choose to release the habit of measuring your value by the speed of another person's reply. You can choose peace even while part of you still hopes. Hope is beautiful when it opens the heart toward life. It becomes painful when it turns life into a waiting room. There is a difference between leaving a door unlocked and standing beside it all night. The first allows possibility. The second prevents you from seeing the many paths through which love may enter. Let your heart remain open, but let your life remain in motion. The first opening is the worthiness within you, not the performance of worthiness, not the polished version of yourself who never needs reassurance, but the quiet knowing that you do not have to earn tenderness by suffering for it. You are allowed to be loved while still healing. You are allowed to be desired without becoming someone else. You are allowed to want a relationship that is clear, reciprocal, emotionally present, and safe enough for both people to tell the truth. Worthiness is not a prize placed at the end of perfect healing. It is the ground beneath you while healing takes place. You do not become worthy when you stop having needs. You do not become worthy when you no longer feel anxious, nostalgic, or afraid. You are worthy in the middle of the trembling, in the middle of the unanswered question, in the middle of learning how to give yourself the compassion you once begged another person to provide. Imagine a child standing at the edge of a garden, believing she must offer something beautiful before she is allowed inside. Would you tell her to become more impressive before opening the gate? Or would you take her hand and tell her she belongs? That same tenderness is needed by the part of you that believes love must be earned through endurance. Place your hand over your heart and let this truth become physical. You belong before anyone confirms it. Place your attention on the moment the song begins. Notice what your body does. Does your chest soften or does it tighten? Do you feel warmth or do you feel panic? Does the music return you to yourself or does it pull you into obsessive wondering? Your body is not here to punish your dreams. It is offering information. The heart may recognize a meaningful connection, while the nervous system reveals where fear has attached itself to that connection. Healing begins when you can hold both truths without letting either one control you. You might notice your breathing becoming shallow, your stomach clenching, or your thoughts racing toward a familiar question. Does he miss me? Is he thinking of me? Will he return? Instead of judging these reactions, breathe into them. Feel your feet against the floor. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 sounds you can hear. Bring the soul back into the body. The present moment is the altar where discernment is restored. Your body may remember what your conscious mind has tried to forget. A sudden tightness can be the echo of inconsistency. A heaviness may be grief. A feeling of calm may be genuine resonance, or it may simply be relief because you have temporarily escaped the pressure of deciding. None of this makes your intuition invalid. It means intuition becomes clearer when it is not being drowned out by urgency. The next opening is recognition. A sacred counterpart is not someone who completes the parts of you that you refuse to meet. Connection becomes transformative when it mirrors the wholeness you are learning to embody. If he is truly part of your path, your alignment will not require you to disappear. You will not need to shrink your needs, silence your intuition, or accept fragments while calling them destiny. The love meant to meet you can honor the fullness of your heart. Recognition is not merely the feeling of, I know you. It is also the willingness to know yourself in the presence of another. Can you remain connected to your values when attraction is strong? Can you speak when something hurts? Can you receive affection without immediately preparing for its disappearance? Can you allow another person to be human rather than turning him into a symbol who must fulfill every spiritual meaning you have assigned to the bond? A true mirror does not only show you the beauty you wish to see, it reveals where you are still divided. It may illuminate your courage and your fear, your capacity for devotion and your difficulty receiving. This can feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is not always danger. Sometimes it is the stretching that happens when an old identity begins to loosen. The purpose of recognition is not to make you dependent on the mirror. It is to help you see more clearly. Sometimes the person connected to a song is not only a person. He may represent the awakening of your inner masculine, the part of you that protects your boundaries, keeps its promises, acts with courage, and brings your dreams into form. When this energy has been wounded, you may look outside yourself for someone to provide the safety you have not yet learned to give your own heart. When it begins to awaken within you, the song changes. It no longer says, "Come save me." It begins to say, "I am becoming someone who can receive what is real." This inner masculine is not hardness, domination, or emotional distance. It is the steady structure that allows your sensitivity to feel safe. It is the part of you that says no when your spirit says no, leaves, when your soul has been repeatedly dishonored, and follows through on the promises you make to yourself. It builds the bridge between vision and action. It takes the dream from the realm of imagination and gives it a place in your calendar, your choices, and your daily life. When you cultivate this energy, you no longer need to wait for someone else to rescue you from confusion. You become the guardian of your inner sanctuary. You still welcome partnership, but you no longer hand another person the keys to your peace. You can desire closeness without making distance a verdict. You can miss him without abandoning yourself to the missing. This is why the same melody can feel different from one night to the next. One night it may sound like longing, another night it may sound like release, and eventually it may sound like remembrance. Not of a person you must possess, but of a love frequency you are learning to carry. The music becomes less about waiting for him to validate the connection, and more about returning you to the part of yourself that knows love without begging for evidence. Music is a moving vessel. It carries the emotional imprint we place inside it, and that imprint can change as we change. The notes remain the same, but the listener has become someone new. What once felt like a wound may later feel like a blessing. What once sounded like come back may eventually sound like come home, not to another person, but to your own spirit. The third opening is the release of old agreements. You may still be carrying promises made in previous relationships. I will never trust again. I must be endlessly understanding. I will stay until they are ready, or if I leave, I have failed. These invisible vows can follow you into new connections and turn tenderness into a test. You may recognize a familiar emotional pattern and mistake familiarity for fate. Old agreements are often formed in moments when you were trying to survive. Perhaps you promised never to need anyone again. Perhaps you decided that being low maintenance was the only way to remain lovable. Perhaps you became the healer, the patient one, the endlessly forgiving one, while secretly hoping that your sacrifice would inspire someone to finally meet you. Honor the self who made those agreements. She was trying to protect you with the tools she had, but survival strategies can become prisons when the danger has passed. The vow to never trust may protect you from betrayal, but it also blocks intimacy. The vow to always stay may protect you from the grief of leaving, but it also keeps you bound to absence. The vow to understand everything may prevent you from admitting that something is hurting you, You are allowed to thank these old promises and release them. Tonight you can gently say, I release every agreement that asks me to abandon myself in order to be loved. I release the need to decode what honest communication can reveal. I release the belief that uncertainty is proof of depth. I welcome love that is free, mutual, and clear. Let the words move through you slowly. You are not denying the bond. You are removing the fear that has been wrapped around it. You may even write these words down and place them beneath a candle, a stone, or a glass of water. Watch the flame without trying to create a dramatic sign. Let the ritual be simple. The power is not in making the universe obey you. It is in showing your own subconscious that a decision has been made. You are no longer available for agreements that require self-betrayal. The fourth opening is surrender, not passive waiting, but the kind of surrender that stops wrestling with what cannot be controlled. You cannot make another person awaken on your schedule. You cannot think, visualize, or suffer someone into emotional availability. You cannot carry both sides of a relationship and call the wait devotion. What you can do is become available to truth. Surrender is not giving up on love. It is giving up the exhausting attempt to manage the form love must take. It is releasing the belief that if you analyze enough, pray hard enough, or remain perfectly aligned, you can guarantee another person's behavior. The river does not become less sacred because it chooses a different bend. Sometimes the path of the soul is not the path the personality planned. If he is meant to step toward you, let him meet the version of you who is no longer negotiating with silence. If he is not able to meet you, let that truth also become a form of protection. Sacred timing is not an excuse for endless postponement. Sometimes divine timing moves through a reunion. Sometimes it moves through a clean ending. Sometimes it returns your energy so completely that the person you were waiting for is no longer the person you need. There are endings that feel like rejection at first, but later reveal themselves as redirection. There are silences that seem cruel but eventually create the quiet in which you can hear your own calling. This does not mean every painful event was arranged to teach you a lesson, or that you must romanticize what wounded you. It means you can allow meaning to emerge without pretending the pain was harmless. The fifth opening is embodiment. You are not asked to become more magnetic by pretending not to care. You become magnetic when caring for yourself is no longer dependent on the response of another. You become magnetic when your life contains beauty that does not need to be witnessed by him. You become magnetic when your sleep, your work, your friendships, your creativity, and your body are no longer placed on hold while you wait for a message. Embodiment means the truth is no longer only something you repeat. It becomes something you practice. If you say you deserve clarity, you stop volunteering for confusion. If you say you trust divine guidance, you also trust the wisdom that tells you to rest, ask questions, or walk away. If you say you are worthy of love, you begin treating your time as sacred. Your body is worthy of care, and your attention as a precious life force. Build a life that can receive love without collapsing around it. Let your home become a place of peace. Let your friendships remind you that connection does not always have to be complicated. Let your creativity give shape to what words cannot hold. Let your body experience pleasure that is not dependent on being desired by someone else. Every act of self-respect sends a new message through your energy. I am no longer waiting for permission to live. Let the song accompany your life rather than replace it. Play it while you walk forward. Play it while you clean your space. Create something, prepare a nourishing meal, or make a decision that honors your future. Allow its rhythm to remind you that longing is energy, and energy can be redirected. The same force that once kept you checking your phone can become the force that builds your confidence. The same tenderness you poured into imagining his feelings can become tenderness toward your own. When the urge to check, search, or replay becomes strong, pause and ask what the action is truly promising you. Is it information or a temporary relief from uncertainty? If it is relief, give yourself relief directly. Breathe, move your body, call someone safe, step outside, or place your hands in warm water. You do not have to shame the longing away. You only have to stop allowing it to drive the vehicle of your life. And if there is distance between you, let the distance teach you what closeness would need in order to be healthy. Separation is not automatically sacred, and proximity is not automatically proof of love. The wisdom is found in what the space reveals. Are you becoming more honest, more peaceful, more self-respecting, more willing to receive what is directly offered rather than what you have to interpret. If the connection is real and aligned, it will not be threatened by your healing. It will be clarified by it. Distance can reveal whether you're attached to a person or to an unfinished story. It can show you how much of the relationship exists in direct experience and how much exists in imagination. This is not meant to invalidate the feelings. Imagination can hold profound truth about your needs, desires, and hopes, but a relationship must eventually enter the world of action. Love needs a body, a voice, a choice, and a pattern of presence. You may notice that the song appears when you are finally beginning to let go. This is not necessarily a sign to turn back. Sometimes the heart releases its last attachment through sound. A memory rises because it is ready to leave, not because it is asking to be rebuilt. Do not punish yourself for feeling the ache. Do not mistake a wave of emotion for a command. You can honor what mattered and still choose what is present. Emotions move in circles rather than straight lines. You may feel free in the morning and deeply nostalgic at night. You may think you have completed a chapter and then find yourself moved by one familiar lyric. This does not mean you are failing. It means the heart is layered. Healing is not the absence of memory. It is the absence of captivity. The memory can visit without moving in. There is a sacred difference between remembering someone and waiting for them. Remembering can be gentle. Waiting can become a place where your life is postponed. You can hold love in your heart without making it the judge of your value. You can bless the connection without assigning it a future it has not yet demonstrated. You can remain open without remaining available to confusion. Remembering says, "This mattered to me." Waiting may say, "Nothing else can matter until this changes." Let the first truth remain and release the second. You are not disrespecting the past by allowing the present to nourish you. You are not betraying a soul connection by laughing again, meeting new people, creating new dreams, or choosing a peace that has no explanation. This is the moment your heart begins to reclaim its authority. Not the authority to control the outcome, but the authority to define what love must feel like in your life. Love must be allowed to speak plainly. Love must be able to show up. Love must make room for your questions. Love must not require you to betray the wisdom you gained through every wound you survived. Your standards are not obstacles to divine love. They are containers that allow love to remain safe. A river without banks becomes a flood. Emotion without boundaries becomes exhaustion. The boundary is not a wall against love. It is a doorway with a threshold, allowing you to discern what may enter and what must remain outside. You can be compassionate without being available to harm. You can be forgiving without reopening every door. The Arcturian heart wisdom carried through this moment is simple. Resonance is not compulsion. Recognition is not ownership. A soul connection is not a reason to abandon the human truths of consent, communication, boundaries, and mutual effort. The highest frequency of love is not found in escaping reality. It is found in bringing consciousness into reality until your inner and outer lives begin to agree. The stars may speak through symbols, dreams, and unexpected moments, but wisdom also speaks through patterns. It speaks through the way you feel after an interaction, through whether your spirit expands or contracts over time, through whether your life becomes more truthful or more secretive. Do not ask only whether a connection feels powerful. Ask whether it makes you more loving toward yourself and others. Ask whether it supports your integrity. So when the song plays again, place one hand over your heart and ask, "What is this awakening in me now?" Do not ask only, "What does he feel?" Ask, "What do I feel? What do I need? What am I ready to stop tolerating? What kind of love would allow my whole being to exhale?" The answers may come softly. They may arrive as a boundary, a conversation, a release, or a new sense of peace. You might receive an answer as simple as, "I need consistency." You might hear, "I am ready to stop chasing." You might realize, "I want love that is spoken aloud, not only felt in silence." You might feel called to forgive yourself for staying too long or for hoping too deeply. Receive whatever arises without arguing with it. The first answer may be quiet because truth does not always need to shout. And perhaps, one evening, the melody will no longer make you ache for a distant future. It will remind you that you survived every version of yourself who believed love had to be chased. It will remind you that your heart is not empty simply because another person is not standing beside you. It will remind you that what is truly aligned with you will not ask you to become smaller in order to keep it. You will hear the song and feel gratitude instead of desperation. You will remember the tenderness without needing to recreate the circumstances that surrounded it. You will understand that the love you were searching for was never proof that you had to wait forever. It was an invitation to awaken qualities within you that no one can take away. Devotion, courage, gentleness, discernment, and the willingness to begin again. You are not being punished by the silence between songs. You are being given the space to hear your own inner music beneath them. You are learning to recognize the difference between a connection that activates your wounds and a love that meets you in your healing. You are learning that divine union begins long before two people touch. It begins when you stop dividing yourself between what you know and what you hope. In that inner union, your intuition and your reason no longer fight for control. Your tenderness and your boundaries stand together. Your desire for partnership no longer cancels your ability to stand alone. You become whole enough to welcome another whole person, rather than asking someone to complete a wound that only you can tend. Let tonight be a turning point, not because you received a guarantee about him, but because you offered yourself the truth. If the path brings you together, let it be through honesty, freedom, and mutual readiness. If the path leads you elsewhere, let that elsewhere be filled with the love, peace, and dignity you are always seeking. Either way, you are not losing love. You are becoming incapable of accepting a version of love that requires you to lose yourself. Trust that what is meant for you will be able to meet you where your self-respect lies. It will not need you to dim your light so it can feel powerful. It will not ask you to abandon the wisdom that carried you through the night. Whether the future contains his return or a completely unexpected blessing, your task remains the same. Stay close to truth, stay close to your heart, and keep walking toward the life in which your soul can breathe. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching, you're healing. This is your sacred space. And we're just getting started.